into the night. I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use.
Hey, what is up, guys? It's Hydropulse here. I want to talk about one of the dumbest opinions I've ever heard on the Battlefield 1 beta and its scoring system. And it seems to be an opinion that so many people have, and it blows my mind. People are saying they want Battlefield 4's scoring system put on to Battlefield 1, and this is a terrible idea. Now I'm going to go and kind of explain this in depth as to why the current system is a million times better. First off, though, the people who have been spreading this idea are people like levelcap, Jack Frags, and others have been saying this. People in the comments have been asking for this as well. They tried it because they believe that the current system undervalues kills and overvalues the objective in Conquest. So let's get into this. These people don't have a clue what they're talking about. Look, Battlefield 1 has fundamentally changed the way the classes work. Snipers have received a significant buff in relation to Battlefield 4. It's far easier to snipe, bullets move faster, there's less bullet drop, etc. And the other classes, I don't want to say they've been nerfed, but they've been made very positionally and situationally based. They are now designed specifically for pushing, clearing, and holding the objectives on the map. And therefore, of course, the more valuable an objective is, the more valuable those classes become. And as soon as you undermine the objectives in Conquest, the snipers will be getting an even larger buff to the class, because now you can sit a mile away and still score high for your team in doing so, and the class is even easier to use than before. Suddenly the other classes will become less appealing. Now let's look at how the game works with the current system. The objectives matter. Let's talk about Objective C on the Sinai Desert map. If you have only Objective C and the other team is coming for it with everything they've got, because of course the objectives are important right now, and so they want to take it from you. So what are you going to do? Are you going to spawn in as a sniper at Objective C? No. C is not a good place for sniper range. Are you going to spawn at your home base 2 miles away, when the entire enemy team will likely be at C taking it from your team, and you won't even be able to snipe them well because there's buildings and cover and all that kind of stuff there, and you don't have a good vantage point? What's going to happen is you're going to want to play as a different class. You're going to want to spawn as C, maybe as support, medic, or assault, and try to hold that objective down. And that's where this game really shines. This is where Battlefield is absolutely at its very best, when the two teams start fighting over these points, and all of the classes come into play. People start spawning as assault to drive out the tanks. People spawn in as support to replenish the nades and hold the buildings down. And when the crap starts to hit the fan, it's absolutely incredible. The atmosphere, the combat, everything. This is where Battlefield is at its very best, and it felt this way in almost every single game I played in the beta. Because the objectives mattered, it brought all the players from each team together for these epic battles. So let's go back to Battlefield 4 for a second. When's the last time that happened? When's the last time you've seen, let's say even 1/3 of the players in a game go for an objective? Play the objective. Almost never. It doesn't happen anymore. Battlefield 1 has this weird problem where only 2 classes are ever used, Engineer and Sniper, and then nobody's even at the objectives. They're in these random little places in the middle of nowhere. You have all these people in your squad, and you know, they have the squad spawn system, but your teammates are in the middle of the freaking who knows where. They're on some random ass building with a sniper rifle. What happens if you don't want to play as a sniper class? You don't want to spawn there. What, you're going to spawn there, run, jump off the building, and then parachute? It's annoying. It's dumb. And if you want to play the objective, there is almost no place for you in Battlefield 4 right now, because you have to spawn in these weird areas where your class will not be as effective. Let's see you implement the Battlefield 4 scoring system in Battlefield 1. Okay? Now what? So you go to defend C with the support class. What happens? No one shows up. No one cares about taking C. And so your class is now immediately undermined. Your class is now less valuable because of this. If you want to go and attack C with the medic class or an assault class, you show up, nobody's there. Nobody wants to sit there and defend it because nobody's going to try to take it. Why are you even trying to take it? It's not going to get you points. And you start undermining all of the classes and the role that they play in this game, which currently is fantastic. But when you put this other system in, they become so undermined that the game will likely start to break apart. The classes are now positionally and situationally based. So what happens with the new system? If you go back to the old scoring system, people in your squad aren't going to be at the objectives. The assault class is only really effective if you can spawn in on a teammate who is either defending a base or attacking a base and they're there, and you spawn in on them and you can get into that close range. At least in the beta, the assault class, a lot of people didn't use it because its range was a little bit too short, so they felt the class was underpowered, but it was actually very, very effective in close quarters. But people had a hard time getting to close quarters because no one in your squad is pushing the objective, because even with the current system in Battlefield 1, where the objectives do matter, there are still a lot of players who like to snipe and who like to sit in the back, when there's nothing wrong with that. But it's still a little bit more so than it should be, and so you don't have effective places to squad, and so the other classes kind of lose their value a little bit. But with Battlefield 4 system, this will be exponentially worse. Everyone who even slightly wants to play the sniper class rather than the other classes for whatever reason now will, and they'll have more incentive to do that because they won't be able to defend objectives and have fun doing so because no one's going to try to take it. There's not going to have fun pushing objectives because no one's going to be there. The engagement between players is what makes Battlefield 1 so fantastic, and as soon as you start ripping that out, kind of like Battlefield 4 has done, Battlefield 4, for me now at least, is almost boring. It takes me minutes to find a single person in the match because they're all in these random, weird, stupid places that have nothing to do with the objective. The whole point of Conquest is that the objective brings the teams against each other and you create these epic scenes on the battlefield, and that is what Battlefield is all about. And the new scoring system does that fantastically, and with the way the classes are situationally and range-based now, Assault being short, Medic being aggressive, and Support being holding down positions, it works phenomenal. And if you go back to the old system, I'm telling you, you will break this game. Now, levelcap made a point saying that the scoreboard is irrelevant, and people will just play however it is that they want to play. And his opinion seemed to be kind of along the lines of, if that's true, then they may as well change it back so that he can show off with his kills and be atop of the scoreboard every time. I don't think he understands how people feel like playing and how they want to play. Because how you want to play now will change based on the situation the team is in. If you want an objective, you have to change your class. You have to play with more variety, and the variety now is more fun because of this. There's a reason that people in Battlefield 4 only use those two classes. It's because they are effective for getting the score, and because no one's ever at the bases, so close range and all these other things becomes almost irrelevant. I tried to use a shotgun in Conquest in Battlefield 4. It's almost impossible to be effective, because everyone is in some random-ass 2-mile away place, and you get to the objective and nobody's there, and it's boring. Shotguns have become undermined, which are one of my favorite weapons in any game. I love the shotguns. The classes in Battlefield 1 now are all fun, and they all matter, which they should. Otherwise, why have them at all? You can't just throw the average player under the bus and make the assumption that everyone just wants kills. The average player has a KD of 1.0. That's math. Someone gets a kill, someone else dies. That's how that works. I know plenty of people I play with. They don't have the best KD, but they are phenomenal teammates. They're always in the right place and have a real place as part of the team and helping the squad because of the squad spawn system. Because position, like I said, with the classes is so important now. Giving them a place to be part of the squad and to help score points and to push the objective, giving them that incentive to push the objectives and be in those areas is fantastic for those players. And I've played with them. They absolutely love this game because of it, and they should. There should be a place for every type of player. Can you get tons of kills and be up on the scoreboard? Yes, but if you only focus on that in an objective-based game type, you either have to be one of the very, very elite, or you have to mix it up a bit, which you should, because that's where Battlefield is at its best, at least for me. Now, some people may never ever want to play the support class. It's perfectly possible. You may never ever want to play the medic class. You may only want to play sniper, or only this, or only that, and that's fine. But you shouldn't encourage that when the entire game as a whole is based around having everything work together. The scoring system is fantastic as it is now. Could they change the ticket bleed system? Sure. Is that perfect? No. But the scoring system cannot go back to the old one. Could they make adjustments? Absolutely. But you can't just pretend that throwing the scoring system for Battlefield 4, which is a fundamentally very different game than Battlefield 1, on top of it, and assume that it will play better. You're out of your mind. DICE has made a lot of risky leaps and crazy decisions when making Battlefield 1, and we should be appreciating and encouraging all of them because almost every single one works brilliantly in this game. The new movement system, clambering and vaulting over things, is fantastic. The new speed at which you run, the sniping, all this stuff works together. Fantastic. Of course there are people who are going to like the old system, but give this one some time. the changes made to the scoring system have been made because of the changes that are made to the classes. And if you like the new classes, which you should because I think they're amazing, then you should accept the new scoring system because it enforces the roles those classes have and makes them more valuable. It makes them more effective. And that's what makes Battlefield 1 fantastic. I am super excited for this game. But if you change back to the old scoring system, you're going to screw things up. And there's no way that they can do that. I really don't think that they should. I think levelcap and these other guys are dead wrong. I think they're only taking their own playstyle into account. They're not taking the majority of different types of players there are into account. Specifically, the average players, the most common players, want to enjoy the game as a whole because they aren't masters of getting kills. They just enjoy the game, and so we should encourage all the classes and everything in the game to work at its best, and that's what this scoring system does perfectly. I'm excited for this game. I think it's going to be great. I'm going to have some other videos coming out on the Assault class because it was a bit underpowered in the beta and show people how to use that before the full game comes out so they can get a little more out of it, and that should be good. If you disagree with me, say so in the comments. Dislike the video. Go for it. If you like my opinions, share this. Maybe someone else will agree. Who knows? Anyway, that's all I've got for now. I'll catch you guys next time.